Hey, hey, party people. You ready for some punk? Grab a beverage, buckle in. It's time for my update to Panic Punk. Okay, so some of the stuff you need to know right off the bat. There's a hair in my eye. You don't need to know that. This is a project that was started by Allie, Wonder in Alleyland. It is part of the Fantastic Ladies collab group on Facebook. All that goodness will be linked below in my description box. Now, if you didn't see my intro, I'm going to link that down below too because it's going to make a little more sense if you actually start there. So here's how this is going to roll today. I am going to tell you a little about the project. I'm going to tell you what I did in my intro, like what I have accomplished from my intro. I'm going to give you a whole lot of information. And then I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next. Pretty basic, right? Okay, so this project started January 1st. I was late. Shocking. I know. Who would have thought it of me? But that's okay. I think I caught up. I think I'm good to go here. So what I started with was, oh, my notes are upside down, so this one is going to end up being a rambling video too. There are days where it is just like that for me. Okay, so Allie has this awesome list of bands, songs, prompts. I picked Green Day's Holiday, a holiday-themed item. So I picked That Time of Year from the Gourmande Girls. But being me, I didn't pick just one. Oh, no. I threw in ColourPop's A Nightmare Before Christmas. Look at this packaging, people. It glows in the dark. I had to. They were new to my collection. I had not used them, so I wanted to actually throw them in here. I put them in for 5 uses each. Met my goal. They're rolling out. Okay. Next one. Because I am a good punk fan, I had to pick the Sex Pistols immediately. Okay. Obviously, there's a lot more bands that I love too, and I'm going to get to them. But I did pick the Sex Pistols. It's God Save the Queen. It's an item with royal titles, royal titles, that's it. Picked Juvia's Place, the Nubian Royal. Okay, love this color story. Put this in for 5 uses. Had it in my collection, but had never gotten around to using it. Now that's just a crying shame when you own something and you don't use it. All right, met my goal. Misfits. Gotta love some Glenn Danzig. Always have liked him. Still think he's interesting. If you don't know much about him, look him up. He's done some really cool stuff in his life. Now, I saw someone else's video where they actually picked the Misfits, but picked Dig Up Her Bones instead of Halloween, which Ellie had listed. Now, I hadn't thought of doing that, and I like to cheat. Well, I like to bend the rules. Let's put it that way. I don't like to cheat. I just like to kind of massage the rules a little bit to make them fit. But I didn't on this one. I stuck with Halloween. So it was a horror, scary movie inspired thing or a Halloween inspired thing. I went with Gimme Glow's Bad Witch Club. Also new to my collection, had never touched it. Had just gotten it in. So 5 uses. Met that goal. Got another rollout. Okay. Now on to a band I really, really like. It's the band Taking Back Sunday. It's the song Make Damn Sure. Something that you are almost done with or ready to be done with. Bath & Body Works. If you've seen my videos, if you watch my videos in the future, this is going to be a recurring theme in everything. I have so much Bath & Body Works stuff. This is Warm Milk and Honey. I don't even remember when this was in the aromatherapy lane. It's ancient, like me. And I had this much left because I'm notorious for not getting through something completely. So this was a good place to put it. I needed to get this out of the line before it just went bad. Used it up, met the goal, rolling it. You'll see it in the empties coming up in March for February's empties. I have tried to do this multiple times, and seriously, I have managed to screw this up so badly that I literally am just starting over each time. I don't even know what I have or haven't said, so we're just going to kind of hope this one works and actually gets put up today, because today's my day. Today. Anyway, last prompt that I had picked was, second to last prompt, sorry. Still Waiting by Sum 41. A devastating product, or a product that it feels like you're never going to finish, or is taking forever. Item that feels like it's taking forever. In my case, feels like I'm never going to finish. I picked an O for highlight. I picked all the lights. Now, I am new, and my intro was my very first YouTube video, but I am not completely stupid. Often naive, but not completely stupid. I did not put this into pan. I put it in for 20 uses. I managed to get 9. This is my only rollover, okay? So that one's staying in. Now, before I go any further, I am going to address the O4 and Juvia's Place stuff. I know there are scandals. I did not know that when I put these things in. Well, I knew about the Oprah thing, but whatever. I wasn't entirely certain how to handle this, and I actually asked for advice. And the advice that I was given was the only person I'm going to hurt is myself by trashing these products. So here's the deal. I cannot control the stupid that others exhibit. I have these products. I owned them before the stupid happened. And I'm just going to refer to the controversy as the stupid because honestly, common sense, people, you just don't, it's just not a good way to think. You don't say things, you don't do things that are insulting like that. So I'm not really touching on the controversy. What I'm saying is the advice I was given was use the products. Okay, here's the plan. I am going to use the products. I am going to do my best to not feature them in any way in other projects, but I'm going to use them up because I have them. If I dismantle palettes, okay, whatever. These are both formulas that I like. I really wish this hadn't happened, but it did. So I'm going to handle it the best way that I know how. And in the future, I'm going to use my spending power to support things that I do believe in and not brands that do this kind of stuff. Hopefully no one is offended by that. I am handling this the best way that I know how. And like I said, I asked for advice before continuing with this, so hopefully that's kind of what other people are thinking, and I'm hoping. So anyway, last prompt, Bowling for Soup's 1985. A product that did not meet my expectations. Well, I cheated. And I keep saying that I don't cheat, but that I cheat. That sounds so stupid. Anyway, 2 Charlotte Tilburys. Minis. So I figured no big deal. I had tried them before. I didn't really care for them. They don't actually look good on me. These are iconic. Everybody loves them. It's Pillow Talk and... last time I couldn't remember Pillow Talk. Very Victoria. Okay. I knew they didn't look good. I knew I didn't really care for them, but I wanted to give it a fair shot. So I put them in the project, 5 uses each. Now, I tried them separately. At the end, I was putting them one over the other. I got my 5 uses. But I had threatened that if I couldn't make this work, I was going to do something drastic. So I did. Okay, that was melodramatic. It's not drastic. But kind of crazy. I took it upon myself, despite never having done it before, to go on Amazon and order myself some little Voodoo Kit and decided to Frankenlip them. Well, you don't just take 2 things that are the same and Frankenlip them. You have to do other things too. So I took those 2. And then, because I have so much stuff, hence the reason I'm panning, I decided, well, I'm not using a lot of this, so let's throw some things in. I have, what do I have? I have Wet n Wild C536A dark wine. Dark. Beautiful color. Pale. That went in the melting pot. And then I also have Revlon's 041 Gold Goddess. In what universe did I honestly think Gold Goddess was going to work for me? Good Lord, that did not work for me. So that went in the melting pot. And then, Sephora bit me again. It did. I have these super cute, not 1, but 2, itty bitty baby mini melt lipsticks these are in dark room. Once again, dark. If I see the word dark, I need to learn to just back away slowly. It's not going to look good on me. I'm too pale. But anyway, so I had these. Didn't look good on me. And so I threw those in. Now, all of that kit and caboodle combined to equal this color. Now, I have used this a few times, so it's a little bit smaller, but it basically came out about half the size of a tube that you would purchase as brand new. And with all of that I was messing with, I didn't get 1. I got 3. Okay, now I know I'm trying to clean up my collection, but taking all of that and making 3 bigger lipsticks isn't getting me anywhere. But my cousin and her daughter were here, and they have different complexions, so they each got 1, and it looks different on all of us. So I thought, hey, that's a win for me. I'll take that. I don't mind. If something's not working, I would rather give it to a good home. If I have excess and I don't need it, I would rather give it to a good home. So the girls each got 1. Okay, because of all of that, I am rolling out the Charlotte Tilbury because this is not the original product and because of what all I had to do with it. So that's a rollout. You'll see all that in my empties. Anyway, what I did do, oh, actually, so I'm actually wearing it. I have it over my Color Pan item, the O Snap ColourPop lip liner. I have that on, and then the thing that I threw on the floor that you heard that gigantic clunk from was my notoriously morbid lip gloss in Like I Give a Shift. And that's where we're getting the pink and shiny. Hopefully that's not in my teeth. Good Lord, I don't want to redo this again. Anyway, so that's how I made it work for me, and it is a lot better than what the Pillow Talk and Very Victoria were, and Lord knows I'm probably going to end up having to do it again with Walk of No Shame, but not part of this project. Okay, so we have got the fun part of the day. Fun part of the video? Whatever it is. So Allie said that we could do our own prompts. We could create stuff. So a couple people did. So did I. But I did mine differently because I'm me. I am a St. Paul native. I am... Okay, here's the deal. I always tell you guys I'm old. I don't like the word mature. The implication there is if you're not mature, you're immature. And that's insulting. I don't like it. I say I'm old. I own it. I am 52 years old. I have made it this far. I have earned it, and I get to call myself old. And I am not in any way, shape, or form throwing shade at any of the beautiful women out here on YouTube that are my age or older. They can refer to themselves however they wish. I personally just have an issue with the word mature. Okay. If I don't offend someone by the end of this video, I'm going to be surprised. So what I did was, I decided I was going to pick Husker Du. You know who Husker Du is, right? I mean, if you're a punk fan, you should. They've influenced a lot of the bands that came after them. Green Day covers their songs. Other bands cover their songs. Dave Grohl is a fan. Okay, so, Husker Du. And this is the part where I make myself look lame as can be. Husker Du, the guys, Bob Mould, Grant Hart, Greg Norton, were friends with my father. My dad was their tour manager for a while. Yeah, try being in high school and having your dad cooler than you. Okay, try being any age and having your dad cooler than you. Curse and a blessing, let me tell you. I love my dad. My dad was an awesome guy. Everything I know about music I got from my dad. So I may joke. I actually do joke a lot. But my dad was a fabulous man, had an incredibly good life, did the coolest crap ever. And so, yeah, maybe I'm not as cool as my dad, but you know what? A lot of the crazy traits I inherited, I did get from him, including my love of punk. So here we go. What I decided to do, because Husker Du's catalog is as chaotic as punk should always be, was to stick with just their studio albums, the ones from 1983 to 1987. There were 6 of them. Okay, this entire list is very Bob Mould heavy. It is not on purpose. I love Grant's stuff. I like Greg's stuff too. He contributed too. A lot of times you'll see that the credits are Grant and Bob, and yes, that plays into their breakup. None of that is why this is the way it is. It just worked out this way. Listen to some of their lyrics. You'll see where I had some issues. First album, January 1983, Everything Falls Apart. I picked the title track, Everything Falls Apart. Well, how about an item that has fallen apart on you or breaks easily? Like I said, I've already referenced ColourPop. Now, I have heard numerous times, I watch a lot of videos, that when you roll up some of their liners, they break. Well, okie dokie, throw one in here. Or how about those of us that love Drugstore too? Okay, Drugstore is an important part of my collection, and with that often comes impressively cheap packaging, which with my klutzy self, I managed to break quite a lot. And I'm not the only one, I know that. I'm probably just more prone to it. So that would fit in here. Second album, July of 1984, the album for which they probably are most well known, or where most people first heard of them, Zen Arcade. Song I picked for this, oh, this was July of 84. Song I picked for this, Something I Learned Today. And I did it because of the lyric, black and white is always gray. A black, a white, or a gray item. Packaging, product, whatever. Third album, January 1985's New Day Rising. I picked the title track. The only lyrics to this song are New Day Rising. Guess the prompt here, people. Yep, that's right. Something that helps you start your day for every new day. whatever's in your morning routine, skincare, makeup, whatever. Okay. This is where we come to the part where my dad makes me look really lame. The fourth album is September 1985's Flip Your Wig. This is the tour that my dad was their tour manager. And it is the Wig Out, it was the Wig Out East tour with Soul Asylum. Incredibly cool. The song I picked is Makes No Sense at All, and I picked it because of the lyric, well, you say you got the tiger by the tail, but I don't see these things that way. Part of the chorus is, walking around with your head in the clouds makes no sense at all. Like, why do you think you're something special? I don't get it. So if I took this and made it a product for which you don't get the hype. All right. So here's some of the fun stuff. So my dad was on tour with these guys. I was a junior in high school at that point. And, okay, I told you I'm old. Have I said I'm 52? I'm 52. So I remember being home in between semesters. My junior year, I had broken my nose during finals week, fall semester. So my dad was on tour, home for a couple of days, and then went back on tour with the guys. This was January of 1986. And the conversation that I specifically remember, because this one is so fun that it just sticks out in my head, is that of all the things you would expect of a punk band, I mean, what my dad had to do was like get these guys where they needed to be, make sure they'd get on stage, make sure the sound checks were done, make sure the stuff was in the green room, meet with the people at the venue, collect the money, get them to their hotels, all that. All the things that you would think would go wrong with a punk band. My dad's biggest issue was that 2 of the guys were vegetarian. He was having trouble feeding them. So not punk, but so freaking cool. I mean, you look at musicians and you just go, oh my God, these guys are just awesome and amazing and cool. So it's sometimes nice to hear like the quirky little stuff. So I threw it in there. Like I said, hell of a gig for my dad. How cool is that? That's your biggest problem? But you get to go out and hang out with the bands and see live music every night and meet all these people and travel all over the place. And yes, I've worked with some musicians, but I have never gotten to do that. So my dad, always cooler than me. Great man. Okay, my personal favorite album is the next one. This is the 5th studio album. It is March 1986's Candy Apple Grey. And I tried so hard. There were so many songs, because this is my favorite, that I wanted to use. But I was having a little trouble with the lyrics. A lot of them are very depressing. They're about loss and death. So I went a little more tame. I went Hardly Getting Over It. And it's something from a brand that no longer exists. Now, there's panners out here. Coastal Scents is a name I keep hearing pop up, and I know they haven't been around for a while. Brand that no longer exists. Might be a place to put them in, just saying. Or, Becca. How many of you went out and stocked up or intentionally bought something before the brand went out of business? We've established here, people, if you don't use it, it just gets old. Use it. Simple as that. Okay. Final album, number 6. Warehouse Songs and Stories from January of 1987. I went with It's Not Peculiar. The lyric, and this is important. Can you think of what you've got? Only you know what matters in your life. Okay, I love punk. Gabba gabba hey. I'm all over it, okay? But this, to me, is such a profound lyric. Despite time, despite age, despite anything. That I wanted to highlight it because to me it is impactful. So I am not in any way trying to take away from the lyric. I am trying to recognize it by putting it in here. And so I thought this is the place to put an item that's your favorite or something that you love despite the fact that it's unpopular. You know what matters to you. You don't have to follow the crowd. And so those are my prompts for Husker Du. Now, after the band broke up, y'all should know, I'm assuming, maybe you don't, the guys still stayed in music. All of them. Grant did a solo album, greatly received. Bob did some stuff, greatly received. Greg stayed in music, but then left for a while and opened a restaurant. If I remember what my dad told me correctly, he was a chef. But I did find out that he came back to music in 2006 in jazz. Punk to jazz. That's pretty freaking cool. Now, Grant had Nova Mob, Bob had Sugar. Grant was also a photographer. In addition to staying in music and still, until the end of his life, because he has passed, in 2017, was still working on music too. But it actually was had write-ups in the local papers for his photography. Now, the last thing that I know of from a radio interview I heard from about 2011 that he was working on was like kind of a concept thing based on Milton's Paradise Lost. Yeah, you heard me. Milton's Paradise Lost. I've never even read it, and I have a degree in English. Smart man. Very, very smart man. Okay, Bob, still in the music scene. Not too far back, I think only a couple albums, was on a Foo Fighters album. If you've seen the documentary on that, Dave Grohl wrote a song for him. Because he's a fan, and he likes him, and he wanted him. I mean, he contributes to anything that is centered around stuff that Bob is doing or that is being done when he was recognized and honored and stuff like that. In addition, Bob put out an autobiography. So he wrote a book, too. You know, yeah. These guys were college students, so, I mean, they're not stupid anyway, but it's impressive. Because when you think about punk bands, you think about anarchy and anti-establishment, all that kind of stuff, and sometimes you don't recognize some of the genius. Go through and look up how many musicians, in particular in punk bands, how many of these guys have PhDs? That may come up in the future, just saying. But being a St. Paul native, you may get some more local trivia too. All right, so that's my contribution to the Husker Du legacy and to the Panning Punk playlist. Anybody who wants to take any of this, please, please, please include it. I'll have it written in the description box. Take a prompt, throw in a product, go ahead and do this. I would be honored. I love when people recognize the fact that I'm doing something. It makes me feel like I'm actually contributing and not just sitting here talking to my camera and looking stupid. Okay, yes, I am sitting here talking to my camera looking stupid. Puppy's up. All right, so on to the next part of this long-winded update. My Rollins. I have for carrying over. We still got some uses on that. I am traveling this month, and I am not crazy enough to put 4 pallets back into this project, okay? I have to travel across country. So what I did is I took one song from Allie's original list, and I'm working my way through these. I am going to keep going through songs as much as I can throughout this project because I want to honor all these bands. Okay, I took Simple Plan's song Perfect, a product that gives you a sense of security or comfort. Well, it wouldn't be me if it wasn't Bath & Body Works. Good Lord, I've got so much of this stuff. This is retired too and has been forever. This is technically a body mist. I use it as a pillow spray. It is about here. This is, okay, lavender chamomile, and I spray it on my pillows. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to keep track of it, because I'm not. I do it before I go to sleep. I won't remember. I'm going to try and use this before I leave. If I don't, if I do, either way, you're going to get pictures and updated weights and all that happy business. I have it in Minnesota too. I am not carrying that across country. Not doing it. So I'll give you an update in some way or another. Okay, Anne Elizabeth Murray. I talk fast, so sometimes it sounds like I'm slurring. I want to make sure I got her name clearly. She put out a nice long list. And she included in her description box for the old school people like me that write this stuff in a notebook so that we can try and retain some of the information that we pick up. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but I appreciate it. So I took Screeching Weasel's guest list from her list of songs, and the prompt is a product you like but wouldn't repurchase. And the klutzies are getting to me. Okay, I went with Youth to the People. This is Super Berry Hydrate and Glow Dream Mask. So it's an overnight mask. It's a hydrating thing. I wouldn't repurchase it because it's expensive. It is cost prohibitive for me to just go out and go, yeah, I want to get this. But I had this sample, and I've used it a few times. It came in with no product at the top, so this is what's left, okay? I've used it a few times. I'm going to use this to finish. This one is small enough that I will take it with me. I did not mention, I forgot, 184.6 grams on that body mist that I use as a pillow spray. 54.2 grams on this. This one can come with me. I'm traveling through different climates. I'm going to need it. And once again, Sephora. Before I ever opened it, I had 2 backups. I told you, sucker. Right there. Show me a sale. It's all you got to do. So I'm taking one with me. I will let you know in Minnesota when I do my update if I've actually finished this where I'm at. But I'm taking one back up with me, and I'm leaving one here so I have it in both places because I do like it. And I can't say I'll never buy it. It's just going to have to sit on the loves list and wait for a really good sale if I really have to have this. But I'll know more after I've used it all up. Alrighty. Makeup with Lainey. Lainey gave us a list too, and she's younger than me by quite a bit. So she has a different perspective and knows of a lot of bands that maybe I don't know of. She put the main everything I ask for on her list. And as a side note, because I don't go off on enough tangents, I had just got an update while I was trying to get all this together. I get all kinds of concert updates. Simple Plan and the main are touring. Don't ever let anyone tell you punk is dead. It's not. It's just in different forms sometimes. But regardless. Okay, the main's everything I ask for. A holy grail product. Well, we know that's going to be Lancome. It was either going to be Cells Booster or the eye makeup remover. Those are my holy grails. I have a mini tube that is on its last legs. I am scraping the dregs of this thing. So as soon as that's done, I'm throwing this in. I'm going to use this to the end. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I'll weigh it. This is 12 grams. This goes with me when I travel, regardless of a project or not. It is just one of those things. I do not like scaring small children. I do put on some face on the road while I'm stopping to get gas, don't want to make dogs and children howl. So this is part of my thing. I always use it. It doesn't matter what mascara even. This is just my thing. So, hence the definition of Holy Grail. I'm brilliant. All right. I will not finish that in a month. I don't wear makeup every day anyway, but I will keep you updated on that. You will get updates, and I will still roll in new things. All right. To roll this to the end, my fourth and final roll-in is from my own list, Husker Do's. Makes no sense at all. The product I don't get the hype. Thrive Mascara. I swear, if I don't get heat for not liking Charlotte Tilbury, for only picking Bob Mold songs, it's going to be for this. This thing is a weapon. This thing weighs 46.9 grams. It is hefty. Okay, tubing mascara. I don't get it. I actually have two. I also, because of Mel Thompson and her beautiful eyes, have Max Gigaplay. I don't actually like tubing mascara. I have tried this a couple of times. I just don't love it. I don't get the hype. I wear waterproof. Okay, so I'm not getting what the deal is. It doesn't flake or transfer. Okay, neither does my waterproof. If it does, it goes in the garbage because that means it's either crap or old. That one's not tough for me. It's so easy to take off, as is my waterproof. This actually is not convenient for me. I don't like water splashed in my face. So having to get warm water and just pull the tubes off is actually a pain in the butt. And half the time I forget to do it and try and do it with like my melting balm and make a huge mess and still have to put water in my face. My eyes end up so freaking bloodshot I look like I'm coming off a 4-week bender. This is not convenient for me, nor is it attractive. I know I'm a clown. I'm good with that, all right? I'm old, I'm a clown. I own it all. I have no issues with that. I own it. I get to be. I've earned it. I've decided. You know what? Sometimes you just have to embrace the crazy. And if you don't know how, I'll teach you. Just follow along. So anyway, I'm not getting the hype. I don't get it. But I opened it. I'm using it. I put it in for 10 uses. One way or another, I'm going to use it, whether it is before I get to Minnesota or after. Until this gets 10 uses, it is not getting rolled out. Now after that, because there's more than 10 uses in this tube, I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. I'm not going to throw it in the trash. I'm probably going to throw it in a drawer and use it a few times here and there, maybe, until it gets to the point where it's expired. I'm never going to use this whole thing up. I know I'm not. I'm probably never going to be a huge convert. There's some things that just don't work for everyone in the world. There is no such thing as perfect. There is perfect for you. That's the best I can do, but I am giving it every opportunity. I am giving it a fair shot. I am doing whatever I can to at least see if I can figure out. All right. That, my good people, is all I have. I think. I hope. I hope I've covered it all. Thank you for sticking with me if you have actually made it this far. Subscribe to my channel if you like my brand of crazy. This crazy train stops at all kinds of fun places, and I can promise you there will be more useless trivia in the future, because I'm really having a good time with throwing that in my videos. It gives me something to talk about, or an audience that is captive enough to have to listen to it. Okay, like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave me a comment. If you're not doing this and you have a good idea, or even a bad idea, if you think it's a good idea, give me an artist, a song, and a prompt. I can put it on my list. I can share it with other people. So you don't even have to be in this project if you don't want to. You can still contribute. But follow the fantastic ladies. Many thanks to Allie. Many, many. Thank you to Anne Elizabeth Murray. Thank you to Lainey from Makeup with Lainey. And thank you to Jaylon. I know she's doing prompts too. She doesn't have them in her description box, so I haven't been able to capture them all. But if I get a chance to, I'm adding those to the list too. If she sees this, put them in the description box. I don't know that she's going to see my video. I'm not anybody important. But if by chance it happens, if you throw them in the description box, I enough of an academic geek to be making a master list. Enough. I'm shutting up. Until next time, rock on. See ya. Bye.